Not my choice. Okay, I'd like to welcome all to this evening's regular board meeting of the Lakeview Public Schools Board of Education today, Tuesday, December 5th, 2023, 7:30 p.m. at the boardroom at the Weed Educational Campus. A couple of things to note before we get started. Mr. Bear and Mr. Asia will not be in attendance this evening. Unfortunately for Mr. Asia, his father passed away this past weekend, and to that end, I'd like to take a moment of silence on behalf of Mr. Asia and his family. Thank you. Also, for the board's information at our places this evening are the revisions to the changes in personnel and the Lakeview High School filmmaking video production course proposal. Now moving on with the agenda, item B, the minutes of the meeting of November 14, 2023.
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Ms. Martin, support by Ms. Taylor. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Madam Secretary, have we any public communication this evening?
I do.
Okay.
I have one item of public communication from Brian Carruthers. Mr. Carruthers, if you would like to move up in front of the microphone, that'd be lovely. I have to read a short statement to you, and then you can start. The Board of Education provides for public communication on their agenda so that members of the community may come and make a statement to the board. Statements to the board can be on any school district topic and should be no more than 3 minutes in length. Public communication is not a question and answer session. Individual board members generally will not respond to comments provided during public communication. As board secretary, I will keep time, and I'll try to warn you when you have 10 seconds left out of the 3 minutes. Thank you to everyone who has signed up to speak this evening, and it's lovely to see such a great crowd of students out there. Thanks. You can begin.
Good evening, Lakeview School Board members and administrators. My name is Brian Carruthers. I'm a 1997 graduate of Lakeview High School. This evening, I'm accompanied by Jenna Pangborn and Morgan Hatcher, who are our Lakers girls high school coaches, as well as members of both our boys and girls Lakers Unified High School hockey team. I'm also the St. Clair Shores hockey girls director and the treasurer for the association. I'm here today to provide you all with an update on the status of the boys and girls Unified Lakers hockey program. During the March of 2023 school board meeting, I came before you requesting permission to begin the girls Lakers high school hockey team. And as of today, I'm pleased to announce that because of your approval, we currently have a roster made up of 22 players, 16 Lakeview players, and 6 Lakeshore players. We are the first affiliate member of the Michigan Girls High School Hockey League, and we have games scheduled including Grosse Pointe North, Grosse Pointe South, Regina, Cranbrook, Liggett, Orchard Lake, St. Mary's, Mercy, and other teams from around the state. We are the first and only public school in Macomb County to offer girls high school hockey. Over the past 2 years, the St. Clair Shores Hockey Association has won state championships in both the 8 and under girls, 12 and under girls hockey, and we are positioned to win another one at the 14U girls level this year. Many of these players are currently enrolled in either Lakeview or Lakeshore Public Schools. So I come before you today to promise you that we're going to be delivering a girls Lakers high school hockey state championship in the coming years, a feat that the boys team has accomplished back in 1971. You've provided these girls an opportunity once they reach high school age to continue their playing careers in front of their high school classmates, and for the parents not to have to consider other local private schools to continue their kids' education. I come before you this evening requesting your consideration for the school to cover salaries of both the Lakers boys and girls high school hockey coaches. These additional coaching costs are considered barriers of entry for any new players interested in coming out to participate in high school hockey. Of the girls roster, half of these girls are brand new to the sport of hockey. These teams have already completed a considerable amount of fundraising this season, and this will help to offset the largest cost, which is the hourly ice rate to play. The St. Clair Shores Hockey Association has stepped up to provide both equipment for the girl players, as well as we've outfit locker rooms at the St. Clair Shores Civic Arena for both the boys and girls teams. The Lakeshore High School Superintendent, Dr. Joe DePony, has already agreed that they will cover half of the Lakers boys and girls coaching salaries and hockey is woven into the fabric of the St. Clair Shores community. For the past 77 years, we've provided quality hockey programs for our residents. We're the second oldest hockey association in the state of Michigan and the original Hockey Town USA. Help these players embrace our community's identity and become champions both on the ice and in the classroom. I thank you very much for your time this evening.
Madam Secretary, any other public communication tonight?
I do not have any other correspondence or communication.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to item D, Board of Education Administration comments. First off, this is the last meeting of this calendar year of the Lakeview Public Schools Board of Education. So first off, I'd like to wish everybody a very happy and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Enjoy time with your families, time away from school. I don't know about athletics, but I'm sure it's in your blood. You'll be out there doing what you do. And to all the administrative staff, all the staff, the fellow board members, the Lakeview community, again, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Any other comments from the board? Well, I'll have a comment regarding the hockey thing in a moment. Any other comments? No? Okay. As you should be aware, this hockey program started back in 2003 when Mr. Waldeman, former police chief in the Shores here, and others approached the boards, and decided to, or asked for permission to use Lakeview as a placeholder, I guess is the best word I could use, or a sponsor for MHSAA hockey on a unified team between all three districts. At that point, we said yes, and Mr. Waldeman at the time and that group said, we will be funding everything. All we want to do is have the MHSAA banner with the district in Lakeview, and Mr. Zaborowski took the ball and ran with it, or the puck and slid with it, whatever you want to call. So to that end, over the years, yes, Lakeshore did say we can contribute a bit for transportation, and the district here covered referees, I believe. And we now come to this point here where the expectation is additional funding beyond what the original commitment was from at least this Board of Education. I do have one question. Has this been approved by the Lakeshore Public Schools Board of Education?
That I don't know. I know the superintendent approved it. So whether
Okay. To me, that's hearsay. I can't say that's fact or fiction. I'm not disputing you, but in my eyes, I can't confirm nor deny that that exists. So what I would suggest is that you and whoever is with you have a meeting with the athletic directors of both districts. Southlake is part of this consortium as well. They should also be included in the discussion because they may say, hey, I want to add a kid or two. The superintendents or their designate, maybe the athletic directors, but the administrations of all three districts need to hear the same story at the same time so that they can make an educated decision on the desires. And then they can formulate a plan that they can approach the board with and ask for our approval or deny at that point. When you approached us in March, you said, you indicated that it would be like the boys program. Okay, we know what the boys program was. It did not include coaches' salaries and all those things. They did what they did to play hockey. So, I can't say I support the divide and conquer approach here by sending emails to individual board members or the board members themselves and then, approach Lakeshore separately. This needs to be handled administratively so that they can decide what's best for all three districts and then approach their boards for approval for this money because it's significant money that you're asking for. I'm not saying I'm not going to support it, but that's a path we should take. And it may come down to, if any of the superintendents leave at some point and they look at this down the road and say, well, who agreed to this? I got 16 kids and they got 6 kids and another one has 2 kids. Why should I be paying half of everything if I only have 6 kids? So it may end up that this needs to be put in the form of a contract so that everybody knows where everybody's coming from in this. To be fair on all sides, so that there are no surprises for anybody that wants to participate in this program moving forward. This is unique to Lakeview, a unified school, unified hockey team with 3 different districts. Today you're saying it's only 2 districts that have participation, but under the MHSAA, it's all 3 districts that are participating in it. So we have to make sure we cover our bases. So I ask that you kindly work with the administrations from all 3 districts concurrently, not separately. No he said, she said, everybody knows what's going on, and then they can formulate a plan to come to the district boards and get the approvals that would be necessary. And it may be that attorneys may need to get involved in this so that we can make sure everybody's bases are covered, so there are no surprises if something happens down the rails due to changes in athletic directors, superintendents, or whatever. So if it was exclusively Lakeview, it's a different story. But having the mix of all 3 districts, we got to make sure that everybody's on the same page and there are no surprises. You understand what I'm saying? I hope? Okay. Any other comments from the board?
I know that part of this is asking, it's an ask for salary, is that my understanding? But then you indicated it's ice time.
The ice time count was just in regards to what the fundraising proceeds have been allocated for.
Okay, all right. And I mean, obviously, you want to put everything together when you present it to the admin. And I would also suggest if kids are doing this as they're not doing club sport, I don't know if this interferes with a club sport or if kids can even do club sport beyond the hockey through the school. I know some kids softball, because I know softball. You can do softball and then you can do high school softball. I don't know if that's true for hockey, if that's something that kids are doing both club and high school. Obviously, I don't know if that shows that we need to pay more money, is what I'm saying. If it's a sport where this is all they do and there is no club, that might mean a little more money from the school. But I don't know. You need to be a little more specific in everything that's there, like what you're paying for every single thing, and I would break it all down.
I'm not saying that I'm going to say no. Everybody has their own voice in this thing, but I'm speaking personally. I'm not saying that I'm going to necessarily vote no or yes at this point, but I'm just looking at protecting the best interests of all 3 districts under this umbrella of the Unified Hockey Program. Okay, cool. Any other
Right.
comments from the board?
I agree with what you're saying, Mr. Dombrowski. I agree with what you're saying, Ms. Taylor. When I read correspondence that was provided to me, I didn't have as much clarity as I felt I needed to make a decision, and Mr. Dombrowski's points are excellent regarding we have to make sure we're working together and all the districts are on the same page.
And our number one focus is we want these kids to have awesome opportunities. I mean, that's what this whole board is about. We want kids to be educated, we want them to have athletic abilities, we want them to have musical, art. We're all about expanding and giving the opportunities, and we want to do that. We just need to be, have an accountable backdrop to it, okay?
See, and what changes all this is the need to get us to get more engaged. You want more from us, and we're talking salaries, and there's FICA and all these other things that are part of it, payroll type things. That adds to cost, so we have to protect everybody's interest. Okay. Any other comments? Administration?
Holiday special events are out there and in motion. Lots of supports being developed and helping some of our families in need. Holiday supports and their families in need in both around the city and in Lakeview. I appreciate all the staff, parents, and students who made special efforts to make those events positive and put together the gifts and the different baskets that are welcoming and inviting to the families in need. And I agree with Mr. Dombrowski. We're at the end of this calendar year, and these holidays are approaching, so we're, on behalf of the district, I wish everybody happy holidays and a safe new year, prosperous new year. I want to continue to thank our staff and our families for being patient while we continue to work. Primarily work is at Harmon, Greenwood, and the high school. It's a little more hidden at the high school, but the kids that are surrounding the courtyard in their classrooms are hearing, backhoes and, feeling the building vibrate sometimes when they're packing the stone down. And those distractions, while they're bad now, the result will mean good things in the future. And finally, our thoughts and prayers on behalf of the district go out to Mr. Asha and his family for the passing of his father.
You were talking about all of the opportunities our kids have, and I continue to be proud of our students, both here within the boundaries of the district, but when we're out in the public. Last week, were at an appreciation luncheon from Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union, and one of the activities at the end was a taste testing of desserts, and it was the culinary arts programs from around, not just our county, but some in Oakland County, and one of the teams there was from South Lakes, and it had a couple of our Lakeview students, and they placed third. And so we have kids who are athletes who are performing, and we have musicians, and we have kids who are in the trades programs, and that's always very exciting for us. We also have been engaging in multiple conversations about expanding those offerings in dual enrollment and skills and trades, and so we're excited about things we'll be bringing to the board in course books that will include additional offerings for kids, which is always what we're about, is finding that path for all of our kids, whatever that path may be. So exciting times here.
Anything else? Nope. No last thoughts? All right.
Go blue.
Oh, from a true Wolverine now, huh?
Roll Tide.
There we go. All right, moving on with the student representative report. Ms. Pinter, good evening.
Okay, well, to start off, I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas myself. And Harmon and all of the other schools would also like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas. But getting right into it, Harmon teachers are busy finalizing the first marking period report cards. Harmon is looking forward to sending out the report cards on Friday, December 8th. The Harmon PTO is sponsoring a holiday festival on Monday, December 11th, with cookies, a hot chocolate bar, crafts, Santa shop, and a special visitor from the North Pole. Harmon also is working with the St. Clair Shores Police as a Cops for Kids toy donation location. They're also working with the Goodfellows and collecting food items for Christmas baskets. Construction work also continues to be slow, but moving forward, more inside work is being done, which is always good to see. Next up at Princeton, things at Princeton are going well. Report cards are in, and they are full steam ahead into the second trimester. They also are fully immersed in some of their new programs, such as Second Step and Number Corners, both being very successful in the classroom. The Princeton PTO and staff were able to help many families over the Thanksgiving holiday and will be assisting many more for the Christmas season. Don't forget that Friday, December 15th is the PTO's annual Santa shop at Princeton from 3:30 to 7:30 p.m. Pop in and see what our local crafters are up to and pick up some of those last-minute gifts for those you love. Also, on November 21st, Mrs. Donnelly and Mr. Cabe were taped to the walls in the hall at Princeton as a reward from the fun run. All students were able to come by and see them hanging around. Princeton hopes that everyone has a very Merry Christmas and everyone is looking forward to the new year. Next up at Greenwood, students and staff returned from the long holiday break to celebrate the season of giving and one another. The monthly GEMS Assembly celebrated students showing a growth mindset, empathy, the ability to manage emotions, and/or those demonstrating the ability to solve problems during the month of November. It was a packed gym as families and classmates attended and cheered for those being recognized. Santa arrived at Greenwood on Saturday to enjoy donuts with students and their families, where students also were able to shop with an elf at the Secret Santa shop. The Greenwood Student Council continues their food drive this week on behalf of the St. Clair Shores Goodfellows. They would also like to wish everyone happy holidays and much peace in the new year. Ardmore was able to provide 10 families with Thanksgiving baskets that included both food and gift cards due to the generous nature of Ardmore families. This Friday, the Ardmore PTO is putting on a Santa shop that includes crafts, hot cocoa, vendors, and of course, a special guest, Santa. At Jefferson, Quarter 2 is progressing nicely. The JMS robotics teams competed this weekend, and Team Control-Alt-Delete was a runner-up for the Innovate Award. This team received a trophy for being in the finals, and each team member received a medal. JMS clubs and families are supporting the community through the holidays in many ways. Patriots with Pride sponsored Thanksgiving baskets for JMS families. NJHS is partnering with the St. Clair Shores Goodfellows to put on a canned food drive to offer support to families in the community over the holiday season. JMS counselors are working with the St. Clair Shores Police Department to identify JMS families that could benefit from the Cops for Kids program. And the staff and administration wishes everyone a happy holiday. And lastly, at Lakeview, the band, choir, and orchestra students have completed their fall concert series and are now ready to embark on their holiday season. The next concert is December 7th at 6:30, performed by the JMS and LHS Orchestra, Holiday Edition. Huskies with Heart were able to give food baskets to needy families before Thanksgiving. Each and every year, they do an outstanding job of collecting food. A huge thanks to the students of LHS who donated and Huskies with Heart. On November 1st, the Senior Parent Committee conducted Hassle Before the Tassel at LHS. Various vendors for graduation were on hand in the cafeteria, giving the class of 2024 a jump start on the graduation season. On November 2nd, the League of Women Voters conducted a young voter registration during lunches. They were able to register many of-age students and will be back in the spring. On November 21st, grades 9 through 11 took a practice PSAT and SAT test. The new test from the College Board is digital, not paper and pencil. Students were exposed to the new test, which gave them valuable feedback of their strengths and weaknesses. A big thanks to the LHS teachers and counseling staff for their assistance on this day. And on November 30th, the class of 2024 attended the annual Cap and Gown Assembly hosted by Jostens. Graduation is right around the corner. LHS NWEA testing will take place on November 19th through 21st. And happy holidays to everyone.
Great share once again. Lots of things going on again yet in the district, so, very good stuff. Everybody's staying busy, so thank you for your input. Anybody have any comments for our student rep? Okay.
I like that the robotics team's name is Control-Alt-Delete. Throwback.
And they did well.
Awesome. All right, before we continue on to the real exciting stuff with policy and administrative regulation stuff, we're going to take a 5-minute recess here. It's 8:03 right now. We'll be back at 8:10.
We could put another, we could put a fold out. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I wanted to defer.
No. Maybe she was senior braces. Did Carl? Did you have any? Do you know anything about
She belongs to the Alumni Association and gets her ticket for free, so.
My mom and dad and my oldest
My wife, my daughter, my son,
his daughter.
last day this evening, all
They're all gone. So,
I'm pumping my ass in the
All right, it's 8:10, we're ready to move on.
Let's do it.
Get that back to me. Okay, moving on to general, board policy administration, administrative regulation revisions, 2,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, and 8,000.
At this time, administration is requesting that the board approve the policy and administrative regulations provisions, revisions, and board policies and regulations within the 2,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, and 8,000 areas as provided by Miller Johnson, our policy consultants. The first reading for consideration of these policy and regulations revisions was completed at the November 2023 regular meeting.
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Education approve the policy and administrative regulation revisions for the board policies regulations within the 2,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, and 8,000 areas as provided by Miller Johnson.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Taylor, support by Ms. Martin. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. At our place this evening, the revised changes in personnel.
Tonight, administration is bringing forward the following changes in personnel since the last presentation to the Board of Education on November 14th. New hires: Lauren Wynn, Lakeview Public Schools District Secondary Permanent Substitute Teacher; Emily Colbert, Lakeview Public Schools District Secondary Permanent Substitute Teacher. Schedule B returning coach and sponsor: Daniel Carr, Lakeview High School Wrestling Junior Varsity Coach; and Schedule B new coach sponsor: Michael Ray, Lakeview High School Softball Varsity Coach.
Mr. President, I move that the Lakeview Board of Education approve changes in personnel as presented.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Taylor, support by Ms. Martin. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Curriculum, oh, I'm sorry, do we have any of the new hires in
We do
attendance
not.
this evening? I get it, and
I know,
figure.
not tonight, but thank you for asking.
all right, curriculum, item A, Lakeview High School Filmmaking Video Production Course Proposal.
In response to student and parent feedback for a film club, Lakeview High School is requesting a new course offering for 10th through 12th grade students. This new course would be titled Filmmaking Video Production and would be offered beginning in the 24-25 school year. Video media is ever growing in our society, and career opportunities are abundant. This course would provide students with new and exciting skills related to this occupation. It would teach the basics of narrative filmmaking and video production and provide an introduction to the fundamentals of cinema, including AV equipment, editing software, composition, lighting, directing, and sound engineering. Students would utilize digital technology to produce several films and projects with an emphasis on visual storytelling and personal expression. Film history, appreciation, aesthetics, and critiques would also be explored in this course. Some technical equipment is needed for this course, including Sony Handycam 4K action cameras and Sony stereo microphones with assorted lenses, filters, memory cards, stabilizing equipment, cables, etc. The estimated total cost of all equipment needed for this new course is $3,006.83. This proposal is being brought forward this evening after receiving the support of the Lakeview High School Building School Improvement Committee, the District School Improvement Committee, and the Board of Education Curriculum Subcommittee.
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Education approve the filmmaking of video production course proposal for the Lakeview High School to begin in fall of 2024.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Taylor, support by Ms. Martin. Discussion on the motion.
I just think that it's amazing that we can offer such a cool course for a minimal cost. I think this is really cool.
Yes, and the equipment they have now for this at the cost is amazing as well.
And I can't wait to see some of the films.
I would agree. When you look back at even 20 years ago, even in this district, the equipment that you needed to do this kind of work with would be $40,000 or even more.
And huge.
Yes.
Right.
And the candy cans are in the palm of your hand. Good stuff. Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Item B, Lakeview High School 2024-2025 course book.
The Lakeview High School Administrative Team is recommending revisions for the 2024-2025 Lakeview High School Coursebook. The coursebook is attached with the proposed revisions identified and is coming to the full Board of Education for consideration and review this evening. Scott Kapla, principal of Lakeview High School, is here to answer any questions that board members may have pertaining to the 24-25 Lakeview High School coursebook.
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Education approve the 2024-2025 Lakeview High School course book.
Support?
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Taylor, support by Mr. Miners. Discussion on the motion. More good stuff. Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Item C, Jefferson Middle School 2024-2025 course book.
The Jefferson Middle School Administrative Team is recommending revisions to the 2024-2025 Jefferson Middle School coursebook. The coursebook is attached with the proposed revisions identified and is coming to the full Board of Education for consideration and review this evening. Amanda Michaelevich, principal of Jefferson Middle School, is here to answer any questions that board members may have pertaining to the 24-25 Jefferson Middle School coursebook.
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Education approve the 2024-2025 Jefferson Middle School course book.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Taylor, support by Ms. Martin. Discussion on the motion. Again, good stuff.
You can see that a lot of time we need both of those things.
Absolutely, every year. Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Item D, MASC, MAHS State Leadership Conference.
The Lakeview High School Student Council would like to travel to Grand Rapids for the Michigan Associations of Student Councils and Honor Societies State Leadership Conference. This is a yearly event where students throughout the state gather to network, improve their leadership skills, and share ideas to help build stronger school communities. Students are treated to student-driven presentations ranging from peer mentor groups, anti-bullying programs, and community service projects, to name just a few. Each presentation contains detailed information on the action that student leaders took to create change in their own schools and provides ideas of how other schools can make these same changes in their schools. All transportation is being provided by Newville Busing with accommodations at the Amway Grand Plaza Hotel, which includes monitored hallways for evening safety and security. The students are responsible to pay $125 towards the full cost of the trip, which is being paid with student council funds. Nicole McKay and Stephanie Kavinsky are the sponsors of this trip. They will depart from Lakeview High School on Saturday, the February 24th at approximately 10 a.m. and will return on Monday, February 26th at approximately 3 p.m.
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Education approve the field trip to the Lakeview High School Student Council to travel to Grand Rapids on February 24th, 2024, returning on February 26th, 2024.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Taylor, support by Ms. Martin. Discussion on the motion.
But do you know if this was offered to the Honor Society as well? I know that the Student Council's paying for it. I know we have board members the board members on the National Honor Society. That would, I don't know if they were included in this, but that would be nice if there would be a way to see if they wanted to participate, even at their own expense, if there's room for 4. I don't know. That's just my thought. It says Honor Society, so.
Do you know about that, Scott? You weren't? Traditionally, has this just been a student council trip?
And that's true for all the groups that are there, right?
Okay. Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Good stuff. Continues. Bond, bid pack number 7, change order, insulated metal panels at Ardmore and Princeton Elementary Schools.
This evening it is recommended the Board of Education approve the following change order related to additional insulated metal panels at Ardmore and Princeton Elementary Schools. This work is being funded through the 2022 Bond Series 2. After completion of the additions to the front of both Ardmore and Princeton Elementary Schools, the design of the insulated metal panels around the parapet walls did not extend to cover some of the exposed roofing material, and appeared to be incomplete. After discussion at a prior Board of Education meeting, administration directed Partners in Architecture to propose an updated design and for Barton Mallow Builders to get pricing to extend the panels further and cover the roofing material. Barton Mallow Builders got pricing from Silverline Contracting to install additional panels at both Ardmore and Princeton. And both PIA and Barton Mallow reviewed the pricing with administration and found it to be appropriate for the work that was specified. Although this change order amount does not require Board of Education approval, administration bringing this forward based on the prior discussion that occurred at a board meeting. Therefore, administration recommends formal approval of the change order increase in price to Silverline Contracting LLC contract as presented.
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Education approve the change order and contract increase to Silverline Contracting LLC for $17,944.84 as presented.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Martin, support by Mr. Miskelly. Discussion on the upgrade. Hearing, go ahead.
So this is basically coming out of that money that we were putting towards another fund, right? The last time we talked.
It's
So it just
still part of the
basically
bond
digs
proceeds.
in. So this is gonna, these three things, and I know I'm talking collectively, even though we haven't got to the next two. But these three things collectively is gonna take about 115,000 out of what we thought we had the last time we spoke.
Some of them were already accounted for.
Okay,
This one was
This
not,
one was
though.
not.
okay, thank you.
This was an add-on because of the way the buildings looked.
Okay, so is what you're stating that the other two were accounted for?
Previously with your data that you saw financially.
Thank you, I appreciate it. It
'cause
makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah, Ardmore and Princeton looks like the wind came by and blew it off, or it wasn't finished yet. And it's,
Yeah, I agree.
any other comments? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item B, bid pack number 9, change order, rerouting of additional electrical feeds at Lakeview High School.
This evening it is recommended the Board of Education approve the following change order related to rerouting of electrical feeds at Lakeview High School. In July, administration was notified by Barton Mallow Builders of the discovery of a previously unknown additional main power feed during the demolition phase of the underground tunnel at Lakeview High School. This required getting the electrical engineer, Peter Basso Associates, PBA, and Partners in Architecture to develop a plan for the work to appropriately support the added feed in a new design. Once PBA and PIA provided a potential solution, administration directed Barton Mallow Builders to get a price from Shoreview Electric, the electrical contractor for bid package 9. Shoreview submitted pricing that was reviewed by PBA, PIA, and Barton Mallow Builders. They all found pricing to be appropriate for the additional scope of work. Therefore, our administration recommends approval of increase in contract through change order to Shoreview Electric in the amount of $60,425.14.
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Education approve the change order and contract increase to Shoreview Electric in the amount of $60,425.14 for additional electric work at Lakeview High School as presented.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Thomas, Ms. Taylor,
That's okay.
support by Mr. Miskelly. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Item C, bid pack number 8, change order, removal of contaminated soils at Harmon Elementary School.
This evening it is recommended that the Board of Education approve the following change order related to removal of contaminated soils surrounding the old oil tank found at Harmon Elementary School. In July, administration was notified by Barton Mallow Builders of a previously unknown fuel oil tank that was buried in the front of Harmon Elementary as the site was being prepared for foundation work. We all may remember that.
Yes.
This discovery required the removal of contaminated soils and backfill with appropriate material to pour the foundations for the front office addition. This increased the scope of work for Simone Companies, the site work contractor for bid package 8, required Simone to remove the contaminated soils in conjunction with Arch Environmental, who conducted the on-site soil testing to ensure all the bad soils were removed. Simone Companies also removed the contaminated soils and loaded them into an approved transport for proper disposal. Once the bad soils were addressed, Simone brought in clean backfill to allow the foundation to be formed and poured for the front office addition. Therefore, administration recommends approval of increase in contract through change order to Simone Companies in the amount of $34,363.43.
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Education approve the change order and contract increase to Simone Companies in the amount of $34,363.43 for the removal of contaminated soils and replacement with appropriate backfill at Harmon Elementary Schools as presented.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Taylor, support by Mr. Miskelly. Discussion on the motion. This number originally came in or was projected to be much higher, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is kind of a little bit of an addition because the Arch Environmental cost did not include this, so we didn't have this cost. We were waiting on truck tickets and time and material from Simone because theirs was, they contracted the company to clean the material, the oil drum properly, and then contract with the company to haul it off-site to an approved landfill. So they needed somebody to dig the pit, put it into basically the haulers to get it off-site.
But you had the estimate that
Yeah.
included what we thought that would be.
It was a lot higher.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
awesome.
that's Barton Mallow saying truck tickets, time, material, making sure that they're checking off, you were here for so many hours, so.
Awesome.
Simone's the one that was digging the hole, bringing the soil, and then they'd go, you got to go 2 more feet, digging so they were there literally while the soil testing was going on, so.
Well, it's good news, even though it was a bummer that we had to go through it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Item D, Greenwood and Harmon Elementary furniture bid recommendation.
This evening, it is recommended the Board of Education consider a recommendation related to furniture for the new office areas, media centers, and classroom spaces at Harmon and Greenwood Elementaries. Bids were distributed and vendors were solicited as policy and law requires beginning back in mid-September. Sealed bids were received and publicly opened October 6, 2023. Because of the large variety of products requested in the bids, multiple vendors submitted for multiple product categories, while others omitted bidding on some product options. This means our design team and administration examined products and post-bid reviews for an extended period to make sure pricing was competitive and needs were aligned for programming. Ultimately, administration determined that several products offered were overpriced or not needed because of the program needs, and those items are not being recommended for award. Some office chairs we have purchased recently for much better pricing than these bids were an example. Layout of the furniture plan for the space's impact is provided for the board, with the items that were removed from consideration marked on the drawings with an X. Administration concurs with partners and architecture reps and recommends the following vendors bids be awarded for various products from their bid submissions within the amounts listed below. Duell Corporation for $23,142.04, ISCG $103,103.92, KI $11,884.16, and Great Lake Furniture Supply $8,368. Representatives from PIA are also here this evening to answer any questions the board may have.
Mr. President, I recommend that the Board of Education approve the furniture bid awards for Duell Corporation at $23,142.04, ISCG at $103,103.92, AI at the amount of $11,884.16, and Great Lakes at $8,368, for a total value of furniture at 2 schools in the amount of $146,498.12.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Martin, support by Ms. Taylor. Discussion on the motion.
How does this compare to what we expected this grouping of furniture to cost? Did we have any projections prior to the bids coming in?
So the bids actually came in very comparable to the bids that we got for the Ardmore and Princeton projects, so we didn't see a whole lot of inflation for that, which we were obviously happy with. But as Sean said, there were some recent purchases that the district made that it made sense to just, with the office chairs, to omit those from the bid and continue down the similar road as with the other furniture purchases, so.
Okay.
There's actually, there was one or two pieces that actually came in less than the Ardmore and Princeton bid, and some that were exactly the same amount, so it was nice to see that with some recent inflation and whatnot, to see some of those prices stay similar to a year and a half ago.
Okay, cool. Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. And the superintendent's evaluation is not on the agenda anymore, so.
Mr. President, seeing no more business, I move the recommendation that Mr. Chairman is support.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Martin, support by Ms. Taylor. Discussion on the motion.
Just hope everyone has a really nice time.
Thank you. Same to everybody here as well. All good seeing you guys again. We look forward to a great 2024 in the bond stuff. There we go. The football field, that's a big one. That whole area is going to be torn up. All right, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned at 8:30.
We're supposed to bring our sleeping bags on.
You may be.
Dan,
No,
they don't know anything about long meetings.
No, they
Some of those
don't.
3 a.m. ones, my first
exactly,
year.
exactly. So the thing is, if we,
No,
if you guys get your comments to me